What if the secret to stronger intimacy after 60 wasn't in a pill, a supplement, or some complex routine, but in the vegetables on your plate? Imagine turning the clock back, not with medicine, but with simple foods that reignite energy, confidence, and connection. And what if one of those vegetables is probably sitting quietly in your kitchen right now, waiting to transform your life? A 72-year-old man once walked into my clinic and said something that stuck with me. "Doctor, I thought intimacy was over for me, until I changed just 4 vegetables in my diet." He wasn't taking pills. He wasn't following some extreme plan. Yet, his blood flow, energy, and confidence were completely renewed, naturally. I'm Dr. James, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience helping older men reclaim their vitality, circulation, and sense of connection, without risky medications or unnecessary procedures. And today, I want to show you the same path I showed him. Because what if the real key to restoring intimacy after 60 is not locked inside a prescription bottle, but resting quietly on your dinner table? In this video, I'll reveal 4 powerful vegetables that naturally boost circulation, unclog blood vessels, especially the ones vital for male function, and help reignite intimacy and confidence, one meal at a time. And stay with me, because the last vegetable on this list is a forgotten classic that works so quickly, even your doctor might be surprised. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a tip that could change your health, your confidence, and your connection after 60. If you're already finding this helpful, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're here. If not, type 0 and tell me how I can better support your journey. So now that you know the solution to stronger intimacy and circulation might already be in your kitchen, let's get started. Beets, nature's nitric oxide booster. When I first began recommending beets to my older male patients, many of them raised their eyebrows and smiled. "Beets? Really, doc?" But just a few weeks later, they'd come back with a different tone, hopeful, often amazed. "I feel more alive. My wife and I feel closer again." That's when I knew this wasn't just another vegetable. This was something special. Beets are rich in dietary nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes and expands blood vessels, improving circulation throughout your body, including to the areas that directly affect your energy, performance, and intimacy. As we age, our natural ability to produce nitric oxide declines, which contributes to cold hands and feet, general fatigue, and yes, difficulty in the bedroom. But beets can help reverse that trend. In fact, research shows that beet juice can improve blood flow within hours. One clinical study found that daily beet juice reduced blood pressure and improved stamina in older adults. But this isn't just about statistics, it's about how you feel. When circulation improves, you feel more awake, more present, and more capable. That's the foundation of real intimacy, not just physically, but emotionally. Beets also protect your artery linings with antioxidants like betalains and vitamin C, promoting long-term vascular health. They benefit your heart, your brain, and your hormone balance. Some of my patients reported that after just a few weeks of adding roasted beets or beet smoothies to their diets, they felt warmth and reconnection, not just in their bodies, but in their relationships. Here's a quick tip from my own kitchen. Try a beet salad with lemon juice and olive oil. That simple combination enhances absorption and supercharges the nitric oxide effect. But this is just the beginning. If beets can naturally unlock circulation and intimacy, just imagine what happens when you combine them with a leafy green that keeps your blood vessels flexible and your energy consistently high. Let's move on to the next vegetable, one that's been quietly helping men feel grounded, strong, and fully alive again. After seeing the incredible effects of beets, it's time to introduce another vegetable that works quietly but powerfully behind the scenes. It's not flashy, it's not exotic, but for many of my patients, it's been life-changing. 2. Spinach, the unsung hero of blood flow. I'll never forget one gentleman in his late 60s who came to see me. He wasn't facing emotional distance in his relationship. He and his partner still deeply cared for each other, but physically, something had changed. He said, "Doc, I don't feel the same. My energy is fading, and intimacy, it just isn't there anymore." He wasn't ready to try medications yet, so I gave him just one simple instruction. Eat spinach every day. He looked at me a bit confused. Spinach? He asked. But he trusted me enough to try. A month later, he walked into my office with a smile I hadn't seen before. "Doctor," he said, "I feel like something's flowing again." And that's exactly what spinach does. It might not seem exciting, but spinach is a circulatory powerhouse, especially for men over 60. Like beets, it's packed with natural nitrates that your body converts into nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for relaxing and expanding blood vessels. This allows blood to move smoothly throughout the body, even through the tiniest capillaries. And when blood flows freely to your brain, your heart, and yes, your most intimate areas, something shifts. You don't just move better. You feel more alive. But spinach doesn't stop at nitric oxide. It's also rich in magnesium and potassium, two minerals that keep your blood pressure balanced and your muscles relaxed. As blood vessels naturally stiffen with age, magnesium helps soften and open them, making circulation easier and more efficient. This isn't just about overall health. It's about laying down the physical foundation for connection, for warmth, for closeness, for confidence. Spinach even supports hormonal balance. Magnesium quietly helps maintain healthy testosterone levels, while antioxidants like lutein and vitamin C protect your arteries from inflammation and premature aging. The result? Less tension, more flow, greater stamina. In every sense of the word. I often recommend my patients toss a handful of spinach into their morning eggs, blend it into a smoothie, or enjoy it raw in a salad with olive oil and lemon juice. It's not a dramatic change, but over time, it produces remarkable results. Warmer hands and feet, steadier energy, and yes, even a warmer heart. Here's the most beautiful part. Spinach doesn't need to act alone. Because the next vegetable on our list doesn't just support circulation, it actually cleans your blood vessels from the inside out. It's pungent, ancient, and might just surprise you with its power. After discovering how spinach nourishes and supports circulation, it's time to meet a vegetable that does something even more direct. It cleans your blood vessels. It's sharp, it's ancient, and most men never realize just how powerful it truly is. 3. Garlic. The circulation cleanser. When most people think of garlic, they picture flavor. A little something you throw into a hot pan to make dinner smell amazing. But what if I told you this small, pungent bulb could help restore the very thing many men fear they've lost with age? Good blood flow, renewed energy, and a deeper, more confident connection. I remember one patient, a 71-year-old man, who came to see me looking discouraged. He told me he avoided intimacy, not because he didn't want it, but because he felt embarrassed. His body just wasn't responding like it used to. His circulation had slowed, his energy dipped, and he thought maybe that part of life was just over. We didn't start with a prescription. We started with food. I asked him to do one thing: add fresh garlic to his meals. Every single day. Just 1 or 2 cloves, crushed and left to sit. For a minute before cooking, he looked skeptical, but he agreed. Weeks later, he returned with a different energy. "I didn't expect this," he said, "but something's changing. I feel warmer, stronger, more like me again." So what makes garlic so effective? It all comes down to a compound called allicin, released when garlic is chopped or crushed. Allicin helps relax blood vessels, reduce stiffness in the arteries, and support healthy blood pressure. More importantly, for men over 60, it improves the ability of blood to reach every part of the body, including the ones tied to intimacy and connection. And when blood flows more freely, something else returns. Presence. That quiet confidence. The sense of feeling truly connected to yourself and to the person beside you. Garlic is also a powerful anti-inflammatory, and that's key. Because chronic inflammation, the kind you can't see or feel, is often what silently restricts blood flow. By reducing this invisible inflammation, garlic restores circulation where it matters most. Not just to your heart and brain, but to the very center of touch, pleasure, and emotional closeness. What I love most about garlic is how gentle and consistent it is. There are no harsh side effects, no sudden spikes or crashes, just slow, steady improvement. Whether you roast it whole, saute it with spinach, or blend it into a homemade dressing, garlic becomes more than a seasoning. It becomes part of your healing, a daily act of restoration. And if you're thinking, this sounds too simple to work, just wait. Because the next vegetable doesn't just improve blood flow. It has the power to increase desire itself. It's light, it's crunchy, and ancient cultures once saw it as a symbol of masculine power. Let's talk about it next. If you're still with me and these insights are landing, type 1 in the comments so I know you're here. Now, let's move on to vegetable number 4, a surprising key to rekindling desire and closeness after 64. Celery, the silent circulation. Enhancer celery probably isn't the first vegetable that comes to mind when you think about reigniting intimacy or boosting vitality. But sometimes, it's the quietest foods that make the biggest impact. Let me share the story of Richard, a 66-year-old man who came into my office feeling stuck. The spark is still there, he told me. But my body's not keeping up. Wasn't overweight. He wasn't ill. He was just out of sync. So I gave him one simple suggestion: 2 stalks of celery every morning. He chuckled at first, but he followed through. And within just 3 weeks, something shifted. His energy picked up, his blood pressure dropped slightly. But more than that, the warmth returned. Not just in his circulation, but in his relationship. Celery is one of the most underrated foods for improving blood flow. It contains natural compounds called phthalides, which help relax the smooth muscles around your arteries, making it easier for blood to move freely throughout the body. That's exactly what men over 60 need: relief from stiffened vessels and a natural way to bring blood back to areas that are critical for connection and performance. But celery doesn't stop there. It's loaded with hydration, magnesium, and potassium, 3 essential factors for maintaining a healthy heart rhythm, stable nerve function, and smooth, steady circulation. It also helps flush out excess sodium, reducing hidden pressure that can block healthy blood flow. There's another reason I often recommend celery to men looking to reclaim their energy and sense of intimacy. It contains a plant compound called apigenin, which supports testosterone production and reduces inflammation. 2 things that, if neglected, can quietly rob a man of his drive. And it's so easy to incorporate. Whether you juice it, dip it in almond butter, add it to soups, or toss it in a salad, it fits into any routine. I've seen it time and again. Men who believed their best days were behind them suddenly realized they just needed the right fuel. And celery, humble as it seems, often plays a key role in helping them feel like themselves again. But now, let's take a step back. Because as powerful as these 4 vegetables are on their own, what they represent is something much larger, something far more important. It's not just about beets or spinach or garlic or celery. It's about what happens when you choose food as medicine, not just for your body, but for your heart, your connection, and your identity. Final chapter. A better life. One bite at a time. Over the past 3 decades, I've listened to thousands of men, some frustrated, some quietly, resigned, some simply looking for a little hope. And one truth has stood out above the rest. The conversation about intimacy after 60 is far too quiet. Too many men believe that the loss of energy or closeness is just part of aging. They're told to accept it, or to reach for a prescription bottle. But that's not the full story, and I don't say that just as a doctor. I say it as someone who's sat across from real men, who've shared their fears, their regrets, and their longing to feel alive again. Because here's what I've seen. When food is chosen with purpose, it becomes more than nutrition. It becomes healing. Not the kind that comes from a pill, but the kind that moves through your blood, touches your heart, and restores a part of you that felt lost. Think about it. These 4 vegetables we've talked about today, they don't just lower your blood pressure or boost your stamina. They bring blood back to where it hasn't flowed freely in years. They warm your hands. They bring confidence to your stride. They restore intimacy, not just physically, but emotionally. Because the truth is, your body hasn't forgotten how to be intimate. It just needs support. And that support can begin in your kitchen, not your medicine cabinet. I've had patients tell me that adding something as simple as roasted beets or a handful of spinach gave them more than circulation. It gave them hope. It reminded them that turning 60 or 70 isn't the end of closeness. It can be the beginning of something even deeper. So when you hear people say, "That's just aging," I want you to remember this. Aging is inevitable, but decline is not. And sometimes, the way back to your best self starts with a vegetable, and the belief that you still deserve to feel alive. As we wrap up this journey together, I want to speak to you not as a doctor looking at data, but as someone who's walked beside countless men through this quiet battle. Men who sat in silence wondering why they no longer felt like themselves. Maybe you've been there too. But please hear me when I say this. Aging is not the end of vitality. It's not the end of closeness. It's not the end of desire. It's a new season. And what you feed your body in this season will define how you live it. We started with one simple truth. Better circulation is the foundation of intimacy. And we've learned that real, accessible foods like beets, spinach, garlic, and celery can bring it all back. Not because they're trendy, but because they work. For real men, in real life. These aren't miracle cures. They're daily, quiet choices that add up over time. Because at the end of the day, food isn't just about calories. It's about the life you want to live. The hand you want to hold. The nights you want to remember. The version of yourself you want to return to. So maybe tonight, your plate looks a little different. A few roasted beets, spinach sautéed with garlic, a glass of celery juice in the morning, whatever it is. Let it be more than a meal. Let it be a quiet act of hope. A small step toward deeper intimacy, steadier energy, and lasting connection. Because every bite is a chance to say, I still choose life. And when you feel better inside, you can show up more fully for the people who matter most. You've made it this far. And I truly believe your best days aren't behind you. They're still ahead. Let this be your new beginning. If this message spoke to you today, take just one small step. Add one of these vegetables to your next meal and feel the shift. And if you found this video helpful, subscribe to Wise Elders Legacy, turn on the bell, and share this with someone you care about. Let's keep this conversation going. Type, "I'm ready" in the comments if you're taking the first step toward better circulation, deeper connection, and a fuller life. After 60.